key. Today's gonna work out beautifully, man. Hey, I want you to ride this thing. I'm like, listen, you're never gonna get another chance in your entire life to ride this thing. I want you to ride it. I want some of you riding it, okay? When you get off, we'll switch. You'll be the only 21 on the planet who's ever ridden one of these. Guys, I am really, really excited. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to ride Bob White's from the Wheel Through Time Museum. Super, super rare BSA Gold Star. I am pumped. My heart's beating. Guys, I got a lot going through my mind right now. My mind's racing, and what came to mind first, the first couple passes through the gears, is this is a thoroughbred racing machine. And I came up with a nickname for it while I was riding it. My first job was working on a farm, thoroughbred horse farm, when I was a kid. And there was this big, massive thoroughbred. His name was Mr. Hasty. No, excuse me, Mr. Nasty. I'm calling this one Mr. Nasty. This thing's awesome. It feels like a thoroughbred race machine. The geometry of the frame, it feels very stable even at speed. The handling's on point. It shifts and runs like a brand new motorcycle. We have an absolutely beautiful sunny winter morning here. It's about 50 degrees and gorgeous out here in Connecticut. Really surprised. Bob,
fantastic.
Bob, give us a little rundown, year, make, model, and then we're going to jump right into the start procedure. This will be video number 2.
We're looking at a 1960 BSA Gold Star. They're the DBD 3400 series by the serial numbers. This machine was the apex of BSA's 500 single racing bike effort that literally started back in the 30s. In the BSA scheme of things, in the English scheme of things, when you won on the tracks in the 1930s, you received a star. Well, BSA started winning, and they kind of upped the ante, and they talked about gold stars. And this run of machines in the post-war period, having been developed and then having won on the tracks in a real regular fashion before the war, they hit the post-war racing scene throttle wide open, and they took no names, and they took all the records. And by the mid-50s, Gold Star was the name that you attached to the very best in English 500cc single-cylinder racing machines. An indication of their popularity across the pond here in the U.S. Can be discerned. I got to know a fella, Fred Anderson, who lived in Teaneck, New Jersey. Fred worked for BSA all through the 50s and through the greater portion of the 1960s. He ran the warehouse where BSAs, all of them, came into the United States on the East Coast, and was responsible for uncrating and packing and then distributing out to the dealers the various machines that came across the pond. Fred was Mr. BSA Gold Star. He had a lamp in his basement before he died, made from the last Gold Star engine that was assembled. It has no numbers on it. When they sent the last one down the assembly line that got stamped, they had enough parts left over to put together one last engine. Fred turned that into a lamp in his shop. It was cool beyond belief. But Fred's comment about the Gold Stars was like this: based on that record of success they'd achieved, all the dealers and the riders in the know wanted a Gold Star of their own. And with each shipment of 100 motorcycles, the folks in England would send 1 or 2 Gold Stars. So people were clamoring for these machines, but the factory had made their mark racing, and they were not interested in marketing these machines per se as the backbone of their operations. They'd moved into a number of other really excellent machines that they were more interested in moving on to the market. And so the numbers of these machines was really limited. Like I say, for every 100 that came across the pond on a ship, 1 or 2 would be Gold Stars. So they became incredibly rare and became legendary, in fact. They were almost mythical. The guys that ended up getting them were extraordinarily lucky. This machine I found was a basement find, although the fella that had it in his basement knew exactly what he had. When I found it about 10 years ago, and I was very, very lucky. He passed, and his wife asked me to come and sort through a lifetime collection of a variety of different things, and this Gold Star was in the basement there in parts. And I had HVC Motorsports down in Asheville, North Carolina, do a restoration on it. And the machine has about 600 miles on it as it sits. And literally every nut, bolt, and washer on it was tended to, and it's just in great shape. It's ready to go.
Is that 600 total miles, Bob, or 600 miles since it was restored?
The 600 since it was restored.
I was going to ask you, how did a 60-year-old motorcycle show up here at the museum looking brand new, like it just came off the boat? It looks absolutely stunning. So your guy did an amazing job. Hats off. What does it cost to have a restoration like this done on a Gold Star, and are the parts readily available?
Well, I was lucky because 98% of the parts were there. The fellow before me had gathered everything up, and it's a matching serial numbers bike. Although the number on the frame indicates a 1959 make date, and the number on the bike is 1960. But I talked to Fred Anderson about that, and he said they used the pieces they had that were appropriate when they were putting these machines. There was not a real focus on making sure that serial numbers matched like this. But the frame is a 59 numbered frame. The engine is a 1960 numbered frame, and that's not unusual at all, according to Fred Anderson. And again, he worked for BSA for pushing 20 years, overseeing the entry port here on the East Coast there in New York. And the fact that I got it in the condition that it was in is a real stroke of luck. A fellow found the machine complete. He disassembled it. This is my friend who passed. He disassembled it, and he had started a restoration on it, but he left us. The fellows down in Asheville, Jake Hall is his name. Jake comes by his skill naturally. His dad has had an auto parts place and been involved in English motorcycles for 50 years. And in fact, his dad has, at one point, they had 9 Gold Stars. It perhaps was the largest collection of Gold Stars in the Southeast. And so,
Bob, before I forget, how many of these were made in 1960? How many came to the U.S.? And what was how many years did they make this model?
They made this model from the late 40s through 1963. The last Gold Stars were made in 1963. I do not know total numbers, but the numbers were small, and the numbers that came to U.S. were just a portion of the overall production. It's the hardest, most sought-after model of all of the BSA motorcycles that came to the U.S.
Bob, for those viewers who don't know who you are, I should have started off. Can you please introduce yourself to our viewers? Who are you? Where have you spent the last 10 years of your life? And
I'm a retired history professor. I got my credentials at Duke University, and that's important because when I restored the motorcycle, this particular model is called the Catalina, and it had a particular color of blue on the tank. I painted this motorcycle Duke blue because I'm a Dookie and I can't help it. I've spent the last 20 years very fortunate to be associated with Dale Waltzler and his effort with Wheels Through Time, the motorcycle museum that runs. Our shtick, our approach on everything is if the machines are on the floor, they need to be in operating condition so that people who come through to see the 1903 Indian or the Traub, the world's rarest motorcycle made in 1916, or any of the hill climb machines, or any of the other 30, I think we have 38 different American manufacturers represented on the floor. Brands that people have never heard of before, Eagle and Pope and Apache, and the list goes on. I've been very lucky to have a wonderful working relationship with Dale and his effort at the museum, and have served on his board for most of the last 20 years.
So Bob, I'm sure the viewers are anxious to hear this thing run. I've never started it. It's stone cold. It's about 50 degrees out. The oil might be a little thick, but let's give it a whirl. Let's fire her up. Can you walk me through the procedure?
Sure. And this machine's a piece of cake. On the center stand, turn on the petcocks. Down
is on, right? Both of them?
Okay. And both of them are fine, yes. Yep. And tickle it until you get a good dribble out of the carburetor. And then with the spark advancing retard over on the left side handlebar, set right. There's a small, a red bit of paint on the control. Line that up exactly, and with the throttle completely shut, kick it through one time to give it a drink.
Wow, it's got a lot of compression. Wow. Holy moly.
Wow. Yes. Stand down on it one time. Well, it's brand new.
It feels like that's what when I pulled the clicker out for the kicker, it felt like a brand new 2020 motorcycle. Everything about it. It's amazing.
Well, it's got less than literally every gear surface, every nut, bolt, and washer on that machine has been tended to. All right, after you kick it through one time, tickle it again. As I say, it's thirsty.
Watch it tickle on this side. You got to see this. The gas shoots right out the side like it's taking a pee.
Yeah. Okay.
Watch this.
All right. Now with the
it's
throttle completely closed down.
Yeah.
Kick it through like you mean to start it, and it should fire.
Is the key supposed to be on?
No, it's got a magneto.
Okay, so don't mess with any switches or anything.
No, there's nothing to cut on. It's magneto driven.
Once it starts, what do I do with the spark advance?
Leave the spark advance where it is, and gently give it some throttle and warm it up.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, stop right there.
Okay.
Tickle it just a little more, and remember, no throttle. It'll fire on its own and idle.
No throttle.
Yeah.
It's alive! Listen to this thing. Wow.
Now, as it warms up, as Dale Waltzler always tells me, he'll put his hand on my hand on the throttle. Gently. These things have souls. Don't take it up to 4,000 RPM until you warm it up.
Okay, let it warm up. How long do you recommend the warm up?
Oh, 15, 30 seconds, something like that.
Okay, can I get on it and ride it? Do I need to do anything to ride it, or just get on it and ride?
Yeah, you need to turn on the lights.
Yep.
And let it, get it nice and warm. If it's 50 degrees, don't take it out cold.
Yep.
And the shift pattern is 1 up and
1 up, 4 down.
Yeah, and this machine, remember, these are racing machines that have been sort of tamed down for the road. Keep the RPMs up.
Okay.
You know, it doesn't mind if you take it up to 3,500 and 4,000 RPM. That's what it was made to do once it's warm. So it's 1 up to be in gear, and then 3 down.
All right, I'm gonna put my helmet on and go take it for a rip. What should I rev? What should I rev it up to before I shift?
I usually take it up above 3,000 RPM, 3,500.
What's max revs?
You can take it up well into the 4,000 range. I haven't opened it up and made it screen just because it's only got about 400 miles on it.
Okay, to turn the headlight on, I turn the switch to the right.
That's correct. You can see it. Dimmer switch is over there by your left-hand thumb. Horn buttons by your left-hand thumb.
Yep. Got it.
The little lever under your left-hand thumb is the compression release. If you pull that, it'll kill it.
Okay, the red dot that I have lined up, do I leave that there to run it?
I usually leave it right there. You can move it towards the fence a little bit, which is up, but you really won't need it.
All right, I'm gonna take it for a ride. I'm really excited.
Fantastic.
All right, brother. I guess should I call him right back?
Yeah, we'll call back after you've had a ride. I look forward to seeing the video.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, man.
You made my day, man.
All right.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
What a kick-ass piece. What an honor to ride this piece of moto history. Again, this is a 1960 BSA Gold Star. I'm Ken Kaplan. I'm the owner of the New England Motorcycle Museum right over there. 3 football field-long floors of vintage motorcycles. I've ridden all of them and countless thousands of others. And this one's going to be one of those that's stuck in my memory. And I doubt I'll ever get a chance to ride another one. 600 miles on a full frame-off, nut and bolt restoration to a very, very high standard. This is a kick-ass piece, and it's a racing machine, folks. I was also thinking when I was riding, I was thinking, boy, this would be nice to take to Daytona and run in the vintage races just the way it is, right? Exactly the way it is. Take it out in the high banks and send it. Just an awesome piece. If you have any questions about it, give us a call, 860-454-7024. This would be called unobtainium in my book. You're not going to find another one. Very, very rare BSA Gold Star Catalina in concourse condition, owned by one of the main principals of the Wheels Through Time Museum, Bob White. He's been there for 20 years with Dale. If you have any questions, again, call us, 860-454-7024. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. God bless America, and long live the Queen.